Well, happy May after yet another wet weekend to close out what was a wet month of April. About 1 to 2 inches of rain over the weekend across the Twin Cities. The heaviest amounts were across southern Minnesota. They got quite a bit more Thursday night, too, in addition to the weekend rain. So over 2 inches for parts of south central Minnesota. Also, the northwestern part of Minnesota getting some of the highest amounts, over 2 inches, and then back into the Dakotas as well, where they don't need it. That's why the Red River is going to make probably a second crest this week, as levels were starting to come down late last week, and now they'll be going back up here over the next couple of days. It's been a wet spring. We picked up officially at the airport 1.17 inches over the weekend. Our spring total now just over 7 inches. 13th wettest spring so far, the wettest since 2014. So yeah, it has been a wet one. And because of that wet weather, partly, a cool one too. This is looking at the percentage of normal of April precipitation. So in the Twin Cities, much of east central Minnesota, 1.5 to double the normal amount. Northeastern Minnesota, 2 to 3 times the normal amount, and much of that is snow. But 5 to 6 times the normal precip in northwestern Minnesota back into North Dakota. And of course, some of that was snow, some was rain, all of that contributing to some flooding and high river levels. And this is taking a look at seasonal snowfall. The Weather Service thinks confidently we're mostly done. It was above normal for northeastern Minnesota, but the southern part of the state, below normal snowfall, actually. So the Twin Cities, we saw about 50 inches, but of course it was a lot more. We're talking over 100, even a little bullseye of 200 inches of snowfall in some of the higher terrain way up there into Cook County. And of course, that was not all confined to winter. Some of that was in the month of April. The month was cold, 5.8 degrees below normal, and most importantly, the way to really measure this is in terms of standard deviation, that variation from normal statistically, and that was 1.5 standard deviations below normal, so it was a legitimately cold month of April, but only 16th coldest since 2018. That was the when we had a 4th coldest year, and the temperature anomalies were the worst back in North Dakota, 8 to 10 degrees below normal there. Most of Minnesota, 5 to 8 degrees below normal for the month of April, and as we talked about, a month that cold almost guarantees us a hot summer. We've got high pressure that's going to be trying to build in here over the next 24 hours. Some peaks of sun today as some drier air moves in from the northwest, but really we'll look for tomorrow midday and afternoon. That's when we should see the most in terms of sunshine. So we'll watch clearing tonight into tomorrow. Probably will start the day with clouds in the Twin Cities, I think, Tuesday, but that'll break up. And overall, a pretty quiet remainder of the week. We have a system skirting us to the south today and tomorrow, and then another one, mainly to the south on Thursday. This could clip far southern Minnesota with a few showers. I think we stay dry in the Twin Cities. And then late Mother's Day, we'll watch another system that could bring some late day showers or into the overnight. But right now, the weekend is looking great. Our nicest weekend so far this spring. Not hard to do, but in terms of weekend timing, mid to upper 60s both days. Possibility of an isolated shower late in the day Sunday, but mainly dry and quite a bit of sun, especially on Saturday. And then we're watching for the heat to build. We talked about this on Friday, an omega block, which basically looks like a W in terms of heat in the central part of the country, cold and stormy on both coasts. That allows warmth to really build in. And it's all about how long that bubble stays over us. The longer it does, the more time the heat has to build. So some models are pushing us into the 80s for the first time. The Canadian model, 2 days in a row now, gives us a high of 90 degrees. So we'll just maybe skip the first 80, go right to the first 90. This is the Canadian model for Tuesday afternoon, next week, so a week from tomorrow. Obviously, a lot can change. It remains an outlier at this point. This is looking at all the models we use. The dashed black line is normal. You can see we're above normal this weekend and next week. There's that Canadian model, but at least 70s, and European model also thinks we'll be in the 80s. So regardless, the trend is warmer, and you can see we stay close to normal right through next week. So not just a couple warm days here, we're talking persistent warmth. Right around 50 today, though. That's still more than 10 degrees below normal. Mainly cloudy, again, some peaks of sun, but the air is still pretty cool aloft. That means unstable. So if you get a peak of sun, that'll only help to lock back in the cloud cover. Tomorrow, though, decreasing clouds, 58, 62 Wednesday. I think we'll still be close to 60 Thursday, so we could be in for a string of 60s then. Just that isolated shower chance, again, mainly to the south on Thursday, and then shaping up for a warm and pretty nice weekend, and maybe heating up early next week.